Greetings, adventurers, and welcome back to Abnormal Voyages. My name is David, and today we find ourselves in Orange, Connecticut. Growing up as a kid, of course I loved candy, and one of my favorite ones has always been PEZ dispensers. With their vast variety of characters and the tasty little candies inside, how could you not love it? So, when we stumbled upon this place, I knew I had to go in. We are at the PEZ Visitor Center to find out all about this amazing candy. Tag along.
We're going to a place that you've never heard of before. It's Abnormal Voyages. You're gonna learn something new. We're gonna open new doors. It's Abnormal Voyages.
The PEZ Visitor Center is all at once fun, colorful, and full of nostalgia. PEZ and their wonderful dispensers are so popular that it's hard to believe there's anybody out there who hasn't had one at some point in their life. They do a fantastic job of making sure every corner of the visitor center is filled with little details and fun things to check out as you make your way through and learn about the history of this awesome company. And now inside, one of the first things we see is the world's largest PEZ dispenser. You hit this button here to make it work. Let's check it out. This huge dispenser stands about 2 stories tall, and if that candy that came out was real, it'd probably take a very long time to eat. Let's look at how this all started. PEZ were invented in Austria in 1927 by Edward Haas III. At the time, they were a peppermint candy intended to be an alternative to smoking. As a matter of fact, the word PEZ actually comes from the German word for peppermint, Pfefferminz. You take the P from the first part, E from the middle of the word, and Z from the end, smush them together, and you've got PEZ. The original shape of the candy was actually round, and they were called PEZ drops. But it wasn't long before the candy quickly changed to that familiar brick shape we all love today. In 1952, PEZ establishes an operation in New York City and is officially in the United States. The very first dispenser, with a 3-dimensional character head on the top, comes out in 1957, the Halloween Witch, and then Popeye the Sailor Man becomes the very first licensed character in 1958. From there, it doesn't take long for PEZ to absolutely explode. In 1973, PEZ was so big in the United States that they needed their own manufacturing domestically. So, they broke ground on a new warehouse and manufacturing facility right here in Orange, Connecticut. With so many colorful characters represented on PEZ, it of course became an extremely popular collectible. As a matter of fact, in 1991, they held the first ever PEZ Collector Convention in Mentor, Ohio. And this brings us pretty much up to modern day. In 2011, this visitor center was opened where people could learn all about these wonderful dispensers, and truly, they have become a staple of pop culture. Though it's changed a bit and the flavor is no longer peppermint, I think it's safe to say that the spirit and heart of PEZ has managed to last these almost 100 years. It's honestly astounding to see just how many characters have become dispensers. PEZ have been made out of some of the most beloved famous characters throughout pop culture. They do a great job at showing them off here, such as behind me we have a huge display of Disney ones, but they have countless categories. Let's see how many we can find. And now considered an offshoot of the Disney Corporation, everybody's favorite sci-fi story, Star Wars. PEZ range from the very original movies all the way to the more current ones. This section was just favorite characters, which makes me think that it's where they placed ones that they didn't quite have a whole wall's worth. But as you can see, plenty of Hello Kitty. We've got some Sesame Street, The Simpsons, the Peanuts Gang with Charlie Brown and Snoopy, even some Smurfs and Garfield sprinkled in there. This section is toys and games, and it's not actually dispensers based on toys or games, but rather toys and games based on PEZ, such as this Monopoly PEZ edition, which I can't even begin to imagine how that works, but I would definitely play it if anybody had one. And then some Hot Wheel cars down here, which kind of look like PEZ dispensers. Superheroes are, of course, extremely popular. You got Spider-Man, Hulk, Batman, Captain America, Iron Man, Zorro's in there for some reason, and then the bottom is movie monsters, such as Dracula, Frankenstein, Phantom of the Opera. Then we got back to superheroes. I guess Batgirl fit in better with the monsters for some reason. Okay. Then a huge category, animals. It was very simple to take any animal you can think of and pop them on top of a PEZ dispenser. You got your reptiles, your birds, your mammals. You have an entire zoo just waiting for you to check them out. Animals is actually so big, they got another section. You had some of the giant animals there with the big dispensers, and then just a few of the other ones available. Monkeys, flamingos, elephants. Elephants is actually a pretty cool one. You got some flamingos. This one here is a Lions Club line off the very popular Lions Club in some communities. And then sports. All manner of sports are represented. You got hockey pucks on top of some of those, the Stanley Cup, soccer balls, different mascots for different teams, baseball caps. Lots of great choices. And then holidays go hand in hand with candy. So Christmas and Halloween both have tons of different representation when it comes to PEZ. Your Halloween witches, you got some pumpkins, you got some penguins, Santa Claus, Frosty the Snowman, all your favorites right here. As we saw with the games and toys, PEZ comes in many different forms, not always just your standard dispenser. There are plenty of products out there that have been made by the PEZ Corporation themselves and still have that same kind of flair and aesthetic to them, but aren't exactly what you would expect. There's also a lot of mementos from the different conventions and different events that they've held. There's even an entire set of pins you can collect that all have different anniversary markers and things like that important to PEZ. And here is a sampling of the many, many flavors that have been created throughout the years of PEZ candy. I don't think I've tried more than probably 4 or 5 of these, so it's really cool seeing all the different varieties it comes in. And then here in the corner is the largest PEZ candy ever created. Ooh, look at that. Looks like a real brick. And with such a marketable product, it just makes sense that you'd put together some special things for people, for real collectors and people who want that extra collectability. So, there's plenty of sets you can buy that have a bunch of characters from a series. They've got ones that are like little plushies, like little stuffed animals, and then whole sets of characters such as Star Wars here, or even from some of your favorite TV shows. They even had some examples of one of PEZ's other earlier popular toys, the PEZ Space Gun. These were various guns that you could load up with candy and then run around and shoot your friends in the mouth or shoot it in your own mouth to get that delicious candy straight in there. Very interesting design. Another place that PEZ is very popular is over in Japan. So here's a collection of really cool PEZ for my friends over in the land of the rising sun. As I'm sure surprises no one, all of these ones from Japan are super cute. A lot of them are a lot smaller than the PEZ dispensers that we're used to. They come out in little eggs, as you can see here, and have some of the most popular characters, such as Mario and Pokemon represented. On display, you can even catch a glimpse of the world-famous PEZ Girl uniforms that the PEZ mascot used to wear. The PEZ Girl was an iconic piece of mascot marketing that they used to use to get out there and would have actual people dressed like the PEZ Girl out at events and promoting the candy. And here's actually an example of some of the marketing that was used with this character. So it was really neat getting to see one of these actual uniforms on display. And then next to that was a PEZ motorcycle. This awesome bike was created by Orange City Choppers and is really a sight to behold. All the colors, all the lights, very, very cool. This is also the place to see this giant grasshopper PEZ. This was actually on loan from one of the European locations. Another great section that I personally really enjoyed was these old PEZ dispensers. These were how people could come up and buy dispensers back before you had to go into a store and find it and check out at the counter. You could just pop your money in and out came your delicious PEZ. Really neat to see these. But a true hidden gem here was this display case filled with autographed dispensers. As we know, PEZ of course has plenty of famous characters, plenty of famous movie stars, things like that displayed. So getting to see these and then the actual people on them sign them and take pictures with them, it was just really cool. There's no place you can really see something like this. So having it here right in front of us was amazing. Not to mention, some of the sets were very rare ones or specialty ones that were created specifically for the celebrity or the person portraying the character to get to take a picture with and then sign it, and most of them have donated them here to the center so that other people can enjoy them. This Pixar set in particular was great. In the vault display, you can check out some very special PEZ artifacts, including these down here, which are actual tools that were used to create the words on all the PEZ candies. That's right. Those tools were used to put the little PEZ on each candy. Here in the vault were plenty of, as you may have guessed, very valuable PEZ artifacts. These were actual gold PEZ dispensers. There were some that had diamonds on top of them, or really old ones that are worth a whole lot of money now. Everything in here is very important to the PEZ Corporation. So it was nice of them to let us check them out. While you're here, you even get a chance to take a peek at the factory floor where they're hard at work making delicious PEZ. Right here in this factory is where every PEZ candy across the United States comes from. They all get made on these machines, packaged up, and then put together with dispensers, put into those boxes, and quickly shipped out all over the country so that everyone can enjoy their candy. Not many places let you get this close to seeing their actual factory, so this was a rare treat. And for those who just can't get enough of that delicious PEZ, you can pick up one of these little buckets here and they allow you to fill it up with any flavor you could possibly want to take home that delicious goodness. Well, now comes the hard part, deciding what PEZ I want to take home. So while I figure this out, we'll see you next time. My name is David, and this has been Abnormal Voyages. Thanks for tagging along.